Imagine starting with $5,000 at 25 years old and investing it every single year for just 10 years. By the time you're 35, you've invested $50,000 total. Now imagine someone else who starts that same journey at 35, investing $5,600 every year for 30 years until they're 65. That person invests $170,000, more than 3 times your amount. So who ends up wealthier? The person who invested less at 65, your $50,000 invested at 9% annually becomes $394,000. The person who invested 3 times more accumulates only $950,000, making them wealthier. But they're not proportionally wealthier for the extra effort and money they put in. This is the secret that separates generational wealth from ordinary savings. It's not the amount you invest, it's the time your investment has to compound. The compound effect that most people miss. Warren Buffett calls compound interest the 8th wonder of the world, and he has the bank account to prove it. Here's the shocking truth. 99% of Buffett's $157 billion net worth was earned after his 50th birthday. He didn't become a billionaire through massive paychecks or a single brilliant investment. He became a billionaire because he started young, stayed invested, and let time do the heavy lifting. Buffett bought his first stock at age 11. Most people work their entire lives without ever touching an investment account. By the time the average person even starts thinking about long-term wealth at 40 or 50, they've already missed the most powerful decades of compounding. The mathematics are unforgiving. An 8% return on $100,000 earns you $8,000 that year. That same 8% return on $1 million earns you $80,000. The bigger your base, the faster it grows. This is why generational wealth doesn't start with inherited millions. It starts with time. Compounding creates the most noticeable impact over long periods, typically 10, 20, or 30 years, which is why starting early matters infinitely more than starting big. A 25-year-old investing just $1,000 per year at 9% interest will have more at 65 than a 35-year-old investing $2,500 annually for the same return. Bill Gates and Buffett were once asked to write the secret to their success in one word without consulting each other. They both wrote the same answer: focus. But focus alone doesn't build generational wealth. Buffett's actual secret, according to Morgan Housel's research, is what he calls very long hill. Buffett used the snowball metaphor for compound interest. Start with a small snowball at the top of a very long hill. As it rolls down, it gathers snow. The longer the hill, the bigger the snowball becomes. The snow added at the bottom of the hill is more valuable than the snow added at the top. The reinvestment cascade that accelerates everything. The second pillar of generational wealth is reinvestment. Most people, when they make money, spend it. When their investments generate gains, they celebrate by taking a vacation or buying something nice. The wealthy do something different. They reinvest everything. Reinvested gains typically generate more gains, creating a hands-off approach that steadily builds ownership and accelerates the compounding process. Buffett made his first $1 million running investment partnerships in the 1950s and early 1960s. When that million grew, he didn't cash out, he reinvested it. Then that money generated more money, which he reinvested again. This cycle continued for over 60 years. Bill Gates invests in diversified assets including railways, waste management, and fast food restaurants, not glamorous holdings, but they generate consistent returns that compound year after year. His philosophy is simple: save like a pessimist, invest like an optimist. This means maintaining emergency reserves while committing long-term capital to investments with steady growth potential. The reinvestment cascade doesn't create linear growth. It creates exponential growth. Your money earns returns, and those returns earn returns. Your dividend payments buy more shares, which generate more dividends. This invisible acceleration is what separates millionaires from billionaires and what creates generational wealth that spans centuries. The discipline that sustains compounding. The third element is discipline to avoid interrupting compounding. Charlie Munger, Buffett's longtime business partner, stated that the first rule of compounding is never to interrupt it unnecessarily. Every time you withdraw money, you're not just removing that amount. You're removing all the future growth that money would have generated. Consider a practical example. Someone invests $100,000 at 8% annually. At 10 years, they have $215,000. At 20 years, they have $465,000. But if they withdraw 10% every year, they'd have only $196,000 at 20 years, a $269,000 difference from one small interruption repeated across 2 decades. Generational wealth requires surviving through market downturns without selling. When markets crash and everyone panics, the wealthy often increase contributions. During the 2008 financial crisis, many people fled stocks entirely. One investor who actually increased his monthly contributions from $300 to $600 during the market's worst moment made a 35% gain by 2012. Buffett applies this principle religiously. He holds quality investments through every market cycle, sometimes for decades. His Coca-Cola investment made in 1988 with an initial $1.3 billion became a holding worth nearly $25 billion by 2023, with annual dividends of $770 million. The strategy of starting decisions. The fourth principle determines who builds generational wealth and who doesn't. The commitment to start. Many people delay investing, waiting for the perfect time, perfect amount, or perfect knowledge. The perfect moment never arrives. With a 10% return on investment, you can turn $100,000 into $1.6 million in 28 years. That math doesn't wait. A 30-year-old with $100,000 to invest who waits 5 years becomes a 35-year-old with the same $100,000. Except now they only have 23 years left instead of 28. That 5-year delay costs hundreds of thousands in compounding. The wealthy start immediately, even with small amounts. Fractional shares now allow investing with minimal capital. Compound interest doesn't discriminate. It works the same whether you're investing $5 or $5,000. The only requirement is time. Parents who open investment accounts for children at birth and invest modest amounts accelerate their children's wealth trajectory exponentially. If a parent invests $3,000 in an S&P 500 index fund when the child is born, the account will be worth $1,040,952 after 65 years. The legacy beyond money. The fifth element separates mere wealth accumulation from true generational wealth: education and values transfer. The greatest legacy you can leave behind is knowledge. Empowering heirs with the knowledge and skills needed to manage and grow wealth responsibly. Bill Gates has spoken extensively about not wanting to give his children massive amounts of money. Instead, he invests in their education and values, teaching them the dignity of earning and the satisfaction of creating value. Warren Buffett similarly emphasized continuous learning, reading extensively about business and investing to understand industries deeply. Families that sustain wealth across generations don't just pass down money. They pass down financial literacy, discipline, and the mindset that patience and consistency matter more than brilliance. Without a foundation of shared values and financial wisdom, wealth often fails to last beyond the first generation that inherits it. This is why generational wealth requires structures like trusts, estate planning, and intentional communication about financial values and principles. The simple system that builds empires. Generational wealth isn't mysterious. It's a simple system of starting early, reinvesting everything, maintaining discipline through market cycles, and transferring knowledge to the next generation. Compounding doesn't stop after retirement. It simply shifts to balance growth and income needs. The wealthy understand that time is their greatest asset, far more valuable than intelligence or privilege. Warren Buffett's words capture this entirely. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. That person at the base of the tree didn't plant it yesterday. They planted it decades earlier. They nurtured it consistently. They didn't cut it down when storms came. Today, they rest in its shade while others, who started planting last year, are still waiting for trees to grow. Generational wealth operates on the same principle. Start early, stay consistent, avoid interruptions, and let time work its magic. This system has built empires. This system has created financial security across generations. This system can work for anyone willing to be patient enough to plant trees they may not live to see grow tall.